here we are. It's another day in the garage, and I'm working on the 2003 GTX 4Tech, converting it over to a DI. And today we're working on gauges and extension of the wiring harness. I pulled all the wires out as per the request of a subscriber. I pressure washed everything inside, which was my intention, but I guess it kind of fell behind. So now that's all cleaned up. Thank you very much. And now I think what I got to do is take the top off so I can get up to the gauges, because we got to pull this wiring harness out, feed in the new one, and away we go. So let's get set up, get that taken out. No, doesn't want to come out. Oh. Is that the wrong size bit? No. But I did see this thing slide, so something's happening. Ooh. Broken tabs off everywhere. Tab collection. There's the GPS sensor. So those 4 screws are doing nothing. And there's the wiring harness. So, oh, and there's that sensor. Okay, let's get after this. And we'll unclip these. And this should unclip here. And GPS here. Gone. And we got to remove this clip and get this bar out of here. And this clip is going to go flying. She's small. My tool for opening this up does not fit. Yank the thing off of there and come up with something different. Pretty thin. Ha 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 ha. This goes here. Then we've got this guy up top. Does that mean I have to change one of these connectors? We got here purple with blue. Now we got a 50-50 here. So here we go. It's got a purple stripe. No, purple with a blue stripe. Purple with a blue stripe. That's that. Then we have the purples. These two go to the speedometer. This one goes up to this guy. So there must be another connector that goes from here to there. Let's see. Here's that wiring harness. So we're going to take the brown black and the brown and black, join these two together, plug that in up there, and we're good to go. And away we go. I got rosin core solder, but I've added some flux on here as well because the old harness was kind of, the wires were a little bit dark. That looks good. Heat gun. Isn't that nicer than using a torch? I don't know why everybody's got to use flame. Heat gun does a perfect job. And plug that in there. That's good. And we got to get some zip ties on here. And hopefully things fit. Got to get this up to the top for the speedometer. We'll check all these links before we button her all up. I think it's going to be way back here, so I think we're really good. I'll check it before I tighten this down. Yeah, because the gauges sit here. Now, inside, push that grommet into place, put the bar back in, and we're on to cutting the wiring harness, which we wouldn't have to do if it was longer, but we don't have a choice. Maybe drop that down so I'm not fighting it. I think we're gonna have to do this a couple of times because I'm not exactly sure what we're doing here yet. How many things can you hold at once? Battery went dead. Yeah, I seem to have enough there. wires that are caught. Oh, really? The Speedo wire's caught on something. There's two. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, now what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. Open the lid, put the bolts in. They're the most solid mounting point, and then we'll go from there, see what happens. Just don't want this thing to fall to the floor. That would be a bummer. Now we got to see if the gauge is retrievable, which it is. Good. Really want to fix that spring next too. All right, now I'll put some screws back in, see what happens. And going in. Okay, we have a plan. Not the best, but I think it'll be okay. I'm gonna drill a hole through the top. Show you. Drill a hole through there, put a bolt through. I can reach through here and bolt it in. And then that way it's removable. And done. Let's get a bolt. Probably better off using the drill, but not even tight. Or is it? Yes, it is. As tight as I'm gonna go. Let's climb up there. There she goes. Crooked. And there's the gauges. And here we go. Got all the wires joined up on this end. I'm gonna put it in a wire loom, bring the wiring up to here, and solder up for the other end, which is here. But as I'm working along, I'm like, I don't have enough wires here. I got 2 wires. I got purple, yellow. 2 wires with purple, yellow. There we go. Those 2. They go to 2 different places. One goes into the info center, one goes to the speedometer. So I put a twisted yellow on one of them and a yellow purple on the other, so I know the difference. And when I go to reconnect to here, the spade connector here goes up to the speedo, and I know that because I just tested the other harness that I have. So I'm going to have to make sure I get that right. But I'm going to have to pull the speedo out to check which one of these wires goes to the speedo. So fun times. Of all the wiring, why they would put 2 wires exactly the same and they go to 2 different areas makes no sense to me whatsoever. But anyway, so we got our plastic wire loom. I don't know if that's going to go over those or not. That's looking mighty unlikely. I'm probably going to have to split it. And it's too long anyway. That's it. Now I'm going to feed it in behind through a hole right here, then through that hole there, and then pull it up to the front. Well, now it's time to determine the purple wires. So I've got a alligator clip on one of the purple wires that goes up to the cluster. I've pulled the speedo out, and that goes up to right here on the 4 gang. So let's see, this is 50-50. No. We got to switch wires. I put 2 different wires at this end, but up there the cluster is the same. Let's see what we get now. The yellow purple is right here. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're on the yellow purple. Excuse me. So this one goes to the flat bladed part right here, goes to right here, which is this one. So blade goes to speedo. Those 2 go together. Grab a little bit of heat shrink. This is what I've done over and over today. I like to twist the wires in a straight line like that. Then I take some soldering flux, just what you get for soldering pipes. Rosin core electrical solder. Whoa! Sorry, guys. Wipe off the excess. And shrink it. Hard to work when you're standing there. And that leaves the last one, and that one goes to the cluster. Strange that they did that, but they did. We figured it out. I'm just going to solder this up, button this up, and then I'll show you where I'm running the wire. Okay, so I'll show you the harness installed. There it is, zip tied underneath. Drilled a hole through there to bring it around, up under the engine compartment. Through here, plugged into the bottom, and there's our access port for the Seadoo Pro. So here's my thinking. We rewired the entire machine, including splicing that harness, which had 16 wires, all color coded. So I'm going to plug in everything, all the the rave valve solenoids to fuel injectors, air injectors, throttle body, the map sensor, intake temperature sensors. I'm going to plug in everything, including the mag as well, the stator. So let me set this all up. I'm going to plug everything in. We're going to hook up the Seadoo Pro and test everything before we start putting the engine in this thing. Okay, so here's the setup. Got everything all plugged in. Pretty sure stator, fuel rail, air injectors, NOx sensors, raves, solenoids. Got the throttle position sensors, map, air intake. Got a ground here, power here, battery hookup. No sparkage. And Seadoo Pro hooked up, plugged in. Looking for vehicle. And maybe put a bad tether on, any tether. Nothing. Now what? So here we go, diagnostic process. I've taken the cover off the fuse holder, and we'll check for power at the battery. 12 volts. Power coming into the e-box. What do we got? 12 volts. Power at the computer. No volts. Okay, so power comes in from the battery, up the line, into the e-box. There is a wire that feeds the computer that you can't see in there, and it goes on the terminal for the solenoid, and I'm just wondering if I haven't got it on the wrong side. So we can energize the other side, the starter side in this case. That will energize the computer, hopefully, if I've got that wire backwards. So let's just unclip from there, clip. Oh, little spark. Sparky's good. Little sparks are good. 12 volts. Let's go up to the dash, push the start stop button. Okay, so I gotta swap that around. Nice. Mode button. I think I got these reversed. We can swap those. Anyway, that's no big deal. Well, that's cool that that part works. Now I can hook up the Can-Do Pro and see if everything's working or not. So let's get that going. And we're looking for vehicle. I'll pop a tether on. Nothing from the tether, or no beep. Oh, okay, so the beeper's not working. Let's check the throttle position, see if any of these numbers move when I adjust the throttle. Yes. That's good. Where are we? DI activate. Rave solenoid. Listening. Oh. Yep. Nothing there. Oh, the beeper's not working. Mag air injector. Mag fuel injector. PTO. Yeah. PTO fuel injector. Yes. Oil bleed. Hold throttle wide open for 45 seconds. Oh, that's when it's running. Fuel pressure relief. That's another one I've never used before. Let me just make sure we're still connected. Yeah. Waiting. 15 seconds. All that stuff is supposed to be done when it's running. So we definitely have to check out the beeper, because that would be bad if we... There we go. What else can we check? We got all the gauges working. Sensors. I think that's all I can check till we put this thing together. Reset complete on the... We're going to reset this again after, but the only thing I see weird is those numbers going way up as high as they do. I don't remember them ever going over 100%, but... All right, just before I disconnect this, I'm going to think for a second and see if there's anything else we can test. Here's something we can test. How about the fuel pump? One more time. I think we're out of fuel. That's bringing good news too. Oh no, it's pumping, it's pumping. Try it again and then we'll run over. Oh, that is so awesome. We are looking way good. I'm going to pull all this apart and we're going to start on some engine mounts. Good news. I really wish the beeper worked though. I guess that one I had was a bad one. The other thing I'm wondering about is the Speedo. That one might be toast, but I have a few others that we can pop in there, so. All right, and here we are at the bench. I got the top of the engine case cleaned up and put some bolts in from the cylinder head so it'll hold it up in the air, so it'll clear the rods. And this is the mag end. I believe I got that backwards. Just set it up. This is just a temporary thing just to do our mounts. That ring is not there. I don't want to screw anything up. Clamping it down. Looks good. Cleaned up 4 bolts. We'll just put 4 in. That'll be enough. 13 mil. I wonder if I should put a bolt in there, or this thing's going to sit crooked. I guess we'll just flip it over. And that's what I'm going to be dealing with weight-wise, which is not so bad. Now we'll put the PTO on, and then we will start working on the engine mounts. Don't want to crank this on too tight, because I will have to take it off again. That's it. And then now we can set that in the engine compartment. Oh. Well, can this be bolted on? Yes. I don't want to crank these in. I think I'm just going to put those 2. Good enough. Let's see if we can lose. They're not even that tight. Got a fair amount of shims back there. Holy cow. Almost a 1/4 inch. And this side. I think I'm gonna just vacuum that crud out of there. So I also had to mount the mag cover. because that's where the engine mount is for the front. So I just put a few bolts in that. Now we're ready to lift this thing, drop it in the hull, and start working on some engine mounts. Here we go. Oh yeah. I like using the crane. How the hell am I gonna hold this and drop it all the way down there? I don't know. I thought I was gonna have to raise the engine up a lot. Oh, I need to take those clips off. I think we're gonna have to rotate the engine mounts to make something happen. So I'm gonna rotate the front one. Who says it has to go the original way? If I turn it like that, now it's creating a lot more space for me. I like that. What about those? Rotate it the other way. Oh no, that's way worse. So it helped me up there, did not help me here. And I don't know how high I've got to come up yet for my alignment. Be nice if I could just bolt the plate right on here and those sit on the plate. That's what I had in mind. I never thought in a million years that those mounts sit lower. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a plate on here, and then it's going to return and down so that we can bolt to this. We'll have to extend it out here. One on either side, bolt through there with some slots so that we can move it back and forth a little bit to tighten it up. Plus we're going to shim here when we go to mount it. I was trying to figure out what the angle is, but basically when that sits flat, that's how the engine would sit. So I think, yeah, that's the angle I want this. When I make this plate, this has to end up sitting just like that. So when I check it on the miter saw, just by putting that like that, it turns out that it is exactly 31.62 degrees. So I'm going to cut some aluminum, weld it up, and I guess we'll do a test fit and see what happens. Just had some scrap plastic, so that's what we got to make. We'll make something like that. It'll bolt on there. This will extend to here and come past here about an inch, and then we'll put something on the bottom. We won't cut it. I'll cut it on the same angle as that here, and then we'll put something underneath. But it won't be resting on this anyway. It'll all be supported by this up here. So I think that's what we got to do. I'm going to make up 2 of those, and that will deal with that, and then we'll deal with whatever we're going to do here. And then I gotta, once I get this set where we want it, then I have to pull the shaft out and we have to put the alignment tool in. But I gotta get the location this way before we mess with that. So let's make some brackets. 5/8. Let's see here. That is nice. Okay. See if that, and there it is. I think I'm gonna do it just like that, leave it high so I can get a good weld on the back side and a good weld underneath. Then we'll grind her up nice and smooth, all the sharp edges. I'm kind of liking it. Put that under there. And this one here. It's just too much balancing. Put some screws in that. I think we're happy with it. I'm going to drill some screw holes in here and anchor those so they don't move. Let's see. I'm getting 3 9/16, inch and 3/16. We got here 1 inch over. And 1, 2, 3 9/16. And inch and 3/16. Start small, get bigger. Okay. See what we got here. Like to be able to feel that. All right, so gonna do the other side, then we'll work on the angle piece. Now let's tuck these in behind. gonna fall. Maybe. And then this one goes there. And there's the setup, just a little wooden jig. Set at that 31.62 degree angle. Weld that sucker up. Do a test. Got to turn the juice up. I'll let that cool off, then we'll do a test fit first. There it is, sitting in place. Other one's just sitting there loose. I say we're good to go. Gonna weld that one up, and then we're gonna weld the back side of both. Like a glove, got a little bit of space side to side. So I've got a whole whack of shims, and we can adjust side to side, up, down, whatever we need to do. The mounts are slotted, so I'll mark those and drill them in the center. And then we'll have a little bit of up and down action. Might be hard to get at that bolt behind the compressor, so we'll have to get this. Yeah, that would be a difficult alignment there, wouldn't it? No, I can get a wrench in through there somehow. We'll do it. And first bracket ready to go in. Not exactly professional welding, but we're getting there. And the thought process here is, there's the two mounts. Put something like that with a rubber insulator in between here. And then we'll have to see how rigid that is. Hopefully that is enough. There won't be too much flex in there, but we will see. If there is, then we'll figure out a way of reinforcing it from underneath. But these two heights are two different heights. I ideally want to bring it right over to here, but it no fit. So I'm going to cut a piece of aluminum, and then we'll see what we end up with. Close enough. See what we get. I think we can polish that up, drill some holes, see what we get. And for the holes, that'll sit there. These transferred over to here. Now we drill and pop it in. Maybe. And we're getting close to having to do our alignment setup. Sticking that wood block in there for now. Give us an idea. How much movement do we have here? Virtually nothing. So as long as I can get this aligned and bolted up, we're done. So I'm going to pull the drive, the pump, and put on the alignment tool. So the next phase of the engine mounts, what did I get? Here we go. Bought these on Amazon. I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to tuck that up under here. Probably going to need a few shims because it was a little thinner than what I wanted, so we'll stick that under there. And I've put the alignment tool assembly on and pulled the pump off. So I'll put this in there. Somewhere around where we want to be. Yeah. I'm going to drop this down just a bit to sit on that mount. Ooh, that went down. Wow. Okay. So it's going to go a lot down. Throw a couple of shims under it. That looks good. And then I drew some lines roughly where I want this thing. Shove the alignment tool in. That's where it's going to sit. So we're going to bolt these down on those marks because that's where the mounts have got to sit. And let's see, can I get in behind with a wrench? Yeah, kinda. And so we'll get the mounts bolted up. We might have to shim them, I'm not sure. Let's mount those up. We'll drill a hole for the front one. Get that mounted up because we still have left to right on it. And we should be good to go. And laid it all out. They're 3 inches on center, the holes, which is nice. So, wanted that down just about 1/8. Time to drill them. Again, not sure if this is going to be a problem. We're going to see. We'll mount one up. Nothing in the way there, so let's bolt that side in. I'm gonna do some repetitive stuff here, but it's just better than doing something and then I'm all screwed up. Now this one. Telemarketers, they're out in full force. I guess before I bolt that down, I should pull this plate, drill that, put it back in. There was 2 washers somewhere. Right here. I'm going to put 2 washers underneath. One there. Had to be just over 1 inch. 1 and 5/16. So let's see how that works. I'd say that's pretty good. Bolt that sucker back in, lift her up a bit. Now we'll see if we can get her to bolt up to here and then see what we got to do. Had to loosen these off. Try and move this to get that to line up. There we go. Okay. Got the one in the front here. I'll just snug her up. Then we'll take the weight off. Oh yeah. Now we'll see how close we are for alignment. May have to do some fine tuning. Oh, I like it. Now I'm gonna slide the pump in, see if the pump fits. And if it does, we're gonna put the motor in. Let's pop this pump in here, which badly needs a rebuild too. It's pretty crusty. Let's see what we're dealing with under the hood. Yeah. And we're probably gonna have to rotate the engine over to get that to slide in. Just like that, I think it pushed in. Let's see what we got. There appears to be a slight binding, which means what? Maybe the motor's got to go forward a little bit. As soon as I tighten it down, all right, here's the deal. When I shim here, if I shim all four and pull it back, it still binds. And when I tighten everything down, and I just started by loosening this one here, no more binding. Tighten it down, it would bind again. So then I'm thinking, well, I'll put a washer like this under here, and you know, when you tighten that down, it's fine. Then I'm looking in here and I'm checking, yeah, that's flush, 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 not flush. That looks like there's a washer in there that somebody put to do something. And that's why it was twisting the pump and making it bind. Now we'll put it back on and see what happens. What the hell would that be in there for? Pump's back installed. Oh my God, that is so smooth. So there you go. That's what you're dealing with. Yeah, it's perfect. Well, I have no idea why he put that in there, but he did, whoever did. So I think that is it. We are ready to pull this engine back out. Engine mounts work perfect. I'm going to pull the bolts from the engine mounts and Loctite them in. We're all aligned. We may have to put a little shim under here, but we can shim under here instead of down there if we've got adjusted it all. But that pump just slid straight in, so I think we're looking pretty good. I don't know if we'll have some challenges down here with the cable. It'll be a little bit tight to put the oil inlet in, but I think we can do it. Yeah. We're good. All right, so that's about as far as we're going to go with this right now, because now putting that engine together is going to be a bit of a task. We got to hone it all out and go through all the parts and see what we got. So that'll be a different video. I don't want to get too far into it, but I think we're totally set now. The drive is on, engine mounts are done, electrical is done, tested, everything works. I don't have a functioning little beeper, so obviously the one that was in there was no good. I'm going to check this one out, although that one looks like it's pretty cruddy inside too. I'll test it out before, but outside of that, we're good. E-box, exhaust, alignment, the thing aligned beautiful, oil tank. Yeah, we're good to go. So I guess as far as the next video, we're going to go through all this stuff, see what we got. I got to clean up all the bolts and everything. I haven't even checked all this stuff. Everything's just filthy dirty, so I'm going to clean everything up, see what we need. I was saving those engine mounts from the Ford Tech, but those are toast. They've been torn right out, so I'll save that one. The rest is going in the trash. So I guess that's it. So yeah, that's it. So until the next one, thanks for watching.